is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports Tornado Warning Edition. There is currently a tornado warning going on right now, so yeah, that's I guess one way to describe going into this game after another embarrassing loss to start this season to the Texas Rangers. So I'm gonna be full disclosure right here, full disclosure, just to start this entire thing. I lost my train of thought right there, but I see the comment, rather watch weather than the Phillies. But full disclosure right here to start this entire show. This is not going to be a reaction towards the entire season. This is not going to be a whole description of what this Phillies team is going to be the entire year. This is only 2 games that we're in here, folks. Only 2 games right now. Nola, Zack Wheeler, they are going to be fine. The bullpen is going to be fine. This offense is going to be fine. Everything about this Phillies team, it's going to even out in the end, and they're going to be fine the rest of the way. But now, going into the topic at hand with these first 2 games to start the season and how badly the pitching has been, you allowed 27 runs combined in the first 2 games to the Texas Rangers. Nice little squad they have there. They got a nice group of players. They got a nice pitching staff, but it's no team that you should be allowing basically historic numbers in the first 2 games to start a year. You should not be doing it. The pitching staff should not be this bad, this atrocious to start the year. It really should not have to be that bad, but right now we're in the midst of it. We're in the midst of it being that bad, and I don't know the reason why. Because I'm looking at pitchers out here right now, Nola yesterday, or Thursday actually, and Zack Wheeler today, not looking prepared at all. Nola had a nice few innings, and then he completely blew up. Zack Wheeler to start this game, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't not even tell you what was wrong. He was gunning 97, which was a positive, but he was just getting barreled basically the entire time in the first few innings. He did settle in. Also, we can get to the discourse of CB Bucknor behind the plate, who was fucking atrocious. Fucking atrocious behind there. I have a lot of words to say about CB. He's definitely not the reason why you lost the game. He had implication in a little bit of the score, though. Definitely. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But seriously, we're waiting for Thursday. Spring training comes and goes. We're waiting for Thursday to come along. We're excited for Phillies baseball. And this is the first 2 games of quality we get from our pitching staff. Because our offense, even though they scored, 3 runs today, 10 runs in 2 games, it's not bad. But the fact you allowed 27 runs in 2 games, 27, to the Texas Rangers. And granted, for some reason, the Texas Rangers were their bitch. They're our Achilles heel. I don't know why. I don't know how to describe it. But for some reason, we are now 0-11 in our last 11 games against the Texas Rangers, going back to 2014. The last time we beat the Texas Rangers was opening day 2014 in Texas. Jimmy Rollins hit the grand slam and all that stuff. And ever since then, we can't beat this team for some reason. We lost all 4 games last year against them. I don't know why we can't beat them. There were so many things that were just bad about today. Everything about the game was bad. The pitching was bad. Everything. CB Bucknor was goddamn atrocious. The Fox broadcast was horrible. And granted, we got ESPN tomorrow night, Sunday Night Baseball, after we just got embarrassed 2 days in a row, or 2 games in a row. And now we got to go Sunday Night Baseball. I got to wait 7 o'clock for baseball. I'm still excited for tomorrow. Granted, the season just started. But come on. This is the quality we're getting in the first 2 games? Our pitchers just not looking like they're prepared at all? It's unfathomable to think of. Just looking at this entire box score. 16 runs today, you allow 11 runs on Thursday, 2 runs in the first inning, 2 runs in the third inning, another 3-run home run, my God. Then 6 runs in the 7th, 3 runs in the 8th. You had to use Josh Harrison on the mound, my goodness. You already have to use a position player. even with the new rules that are in place about position players being on the mound, we already got to use them. I believe the rules for position players being on the mound is you either got to be losing by 10 or you got to be up by 8 or 10 in the late stages of the game or something like that to be ordered to use a position player on the mound. I have no idea what the rules are, but we had to use Josh Harrison on the mound. I feel like that's the entire summary of these first 2 goddamn games. Looking at some of the guys on the offensive side, Trey Turner, still amazing, had another triple in this game. He went 2 for 5. JT Realmuto got another hit as well in this game. Derek Hall had a much better game than the first. He went 2 for 3. Nick Castellanos continues, to have a good bat to start these first 2 games, 2 for 4 again, so 2 multi-hit games for Nick Castellanos. And it looks like he's barreling the ball a lot better. He looks a little more comfortable in the batter's box these first 2 games. Like, I'm not going to overreact about anything in these first 2 games, but it is nice to see Nick Castellanos look a little bit comfortable in the batter's box for now. Stott went 2 for 4. Bottom of the lineup didn't do anything. Brandon Marsh got absolutely boned. Nick Castellanos also got boned by CB Bucknor as well. And there were a lot of things on, both teams. And it feels like CB does this on purpose. It really does. And just getting to CB Bucknor right now, I will. He sucks. He's trash. He's garbage. My God, I don't know what to say. CB Bucknor is absolutely terrible. No factor on the game. He was a factor on the game. He wasn't why you lost. But I feel like he costed you a couple of runs there because you got Brandon Marsh. In the second, third inning? Got 2 guys on second, third base. No, actually, this was in the 4th inning when the Phillies were trying to come back. They were trying to creep back into the game. Nick Castellanos drove in a couple of runs. Then eventually, Bryce and Stott got on base. Then you get Brandon Marsh 2 outs, 2 guys on second and third base. And the nerve of CB Bucknor to call a pitch yay high, yay inside. A strike? A strike? Are you kidding me? To take away the chance of bases loaded for Trey Turner when the game is 4-2. You're going to call that pitch a strike? And then going through the course of the game as well, Zack Wheeler in the 5th, facing Garcia. Pitch yay low in the strike zone. Calls it a ball. And then eventually, Zack Wheeler has to be taken out. And then Marte comes out. Facing Garver. Had him on, I believe it was a 2-2, 3-1 count or something like that. I believe it was a 3-1 count. Low ball. Calls it a strike. Everyone seems shocked. Garver thought it was ball 4. JT thought it was ball 4. Marte thought it was ball 4. And you want to know what happened next? On the very next pitch, Garver takes it into the seats, a 3-run bomb. So what should have been ball 4, bases loaded, turns into a 3-run bomb. You gotta be kidding me. How bad can one guy be? I feel like CB does this on purpose. Because we all know the situation that happened with him and the Cardinals manager last year. I feel like he does this on purpose. When a team gets on him, and both teams were on him today, I feel like he does this on purpose. But then I feel like at the same time, telling him that he does this on purpose makes him sound smart. I don't know why I think that, but I think that. I don't want to give CB Bucknor any credit for having a brain. I just think he's pure stupid. You want to know why I watch baseball? I don't watch it for the umpires. I don't watch it for Angel Hernandez. I didn't watch it for Joe West. I don't watch it for you, CB Bucknor. I watch it for the players on the field. I watch it for the stars on the field. And you know what? The stars are not you. They're not the men in blue. They're not the umpires. And you wonder why people are screaming for robot umps. And this type of game just proves it. Remember the Angel Hernandez game last year against Milwaukee? No one got thrown out. I would have loved to see Rob Thompson just get thrown out, take one for the boys, but I feel like he's kind of too calm of a nature to get thrown out. I would have loved to see someone get thrown out, though, especially in the later stages of the game when there was really just no chance of coming back. Spark the boys a little bit for tomorrow. I would have loved to see that, but sadly no one did it. Sadly, no one did it. The nerve of this dude. The nerve. It's a joke. It really is. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. How does one guy, like, how are you that bad at your job? How are you that bad? It's ridiculous. And, like, it wasn't the factor in the entire game because the pitching for the Phillies was goddamn atrocious. It really was. Looking at Zack Wheeler's stat line, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and a home run allowed, which was a leadoff home run to Marcus Semien to start the ball game in the bottom of the first. 94 pitches for Zack Wheeler. Marte comes in during that 5th inning because after the walk allowed by Zack Wheeler, 2 hits allowed by him, 2 earned runs, which was a home run by Mitch Garver, 2 strikeouts for Marte as well, 29 pitches to get 2 outs. 29 pitches to get 2 outs. Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah, Mike D. Yeah, JT was there were situations where JT thought it was strike 3. He calls it a ball. Like, I forget what situation it was, who wasn't on the mound at that state. But they were about to walk off the mound. JT was about to either throw at the third base or do some type of round the horse type of thing after they do strikeouts. And JT looks back like, you called that a ball? Are you serious, dude? Like, my God. I don't know how one guy is that bad at his job. I just don't understand. But going back to the pitchers, really the only people in this game, or the only person on the mound that was good, was Jose Alvarado. He allowed a hard hit to Corey Seager, but basically no harm done because he got 2 strikeouts at the end of the day and got, only faced 4 batters on 18 pitches. He was solid. He was really good. Seranthony Dominguez, though, Seranthony was bad. He was bad. He looked really bad. Couldn't find the strike zone. Hard hits all around. Didn't even record an out. Bilotti came in to finish the job. He allowed runs, but they were charged to Seranthony. Seranthony's stat line finishes with no outs recorded, 3 hits allowed, 6 runs, 3 of those earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeouts on 27 pitches. His ERA is not even registered yet because he didn't record an out. Craig Kimbrell didn't look good in his appearance either. 1 hit allowed, 3 earned runs, 2 walks. Couldn't find the strike zone at all. 1 strikeout on 18 pitches. Then Josh Harrison had to come in and finish it in the 8th. Our pitching just looks atrocious. They don't look ready. They don't look ready one bit to start the year. I can only tell you a few guys that have looked solid in these first 2 games. Jose Alvarado today, Andrew Bilotti on Thursday, Strom on Thursday as well. And that's basically it. Aaron Nola looked bad. Soto looked bad. Brogdon looked bad. Wheeler battled today, but the beginning of the game was not good. Too many barrels. Too much hard contact. It can't be like that to start the year. And does that go to, like, I was thinking to myself, I'm not trying to think of excuses for this team right now because these pitchers don't look ready. Like, this spring training just not prepare these guys enough. And I'm trying to think of, like, the entire situation with the pitch clock. Are they just not fully used to the pitch clock yet? And does that come back to JT Realmuto not playing with these guys for a full spring training because he was at the World Baseball Classic where they don't use the same rules as Major League Baseball? They didn't adapt any type of new rule. They don't use the pitch clock. They don't have the new bases whatsoever. They don't have any of the new rules that MLB implemented. So can JT and the pitchers be a little bit of a couple of pages off? But I say big picture wise, I still believe, and there's no reason not to, because these are the reigning National League champions we are talking about. 2 games does not define an entire season. It doesn't. There's 162 games for a reason. We got to remember that. I believe big picture-wise, everything is going to even out and they're going to be fine. Aaron Nola is going to be fine. Zack Wheeler is going to be fine. This bullpen, which I do think is built a lot better than it was last year, they're eventually going to be fine. It's going to take a while for them to get their numbers to look fine after these first 2 games, but I still do feel like big picture-wise, they're going to be fine. This offense is still going to be fine. They're going to be basically the best thing about this team. I believe everything is going to be fine right now, but this is the worst possible way to start your season. 2 blowouts, 27 runs allowed. It just can't happen. You just don't look prepared. You look lost out there on the mound. And granted, the CB Bucknor being trash, because he was that bad. Like, seriously, you could have had 4th inning, 2 outs, Trey Turner with the bases loaded. And you know, the funny thing is he tripled that very next inning. It's unbelievable just how bad the starting pitching staff has been to start the year. I just can't fully process it. I fully can't process it. How bad it's been these first 2 games, or how bad they have been these first 2 games. I don't know what to say. I just don't know. I do see some. Carl, new subscriber, first time. Thank you, Carl. Welcome to the chat. I know I just saw the Nightbot in there saying stop spamming emotes. I gotta fix that. I don't know why Nightbot's in the chat. I'll remove that, Carl. Don't worry about anything right there. Jesus. It's funny, too. Like, even I brought this up earlier with the record against the Rangers since 2014. We haven't won a game since then. Basically, since 2014. We're 0-11 since then. Our last win was opening day 2014 in Texas. So are the Texas Rangers just the new Miami Marlins, just on a completely different scale to where we can't even win a game against them? Do we even play another game against the Rangers this year? Or series, I should say, because we do play the Rangers tomorrow. I got to look at that. If I look at the schedule right now for the Phillies. Do we? Because I know with the new schedule, you play every team in the league once, at least. So if I go to the Phillies and I look at their schedule, do we play the Rangers again? Because please, for God's sake, not. Nothing in the rest of April, it looks like. Nothing in May. Nothing in June. Nothing in July. Nothing in August. Okay, Carl, I'll see your just once. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God we don't play the Rangers again after this. Thank God. Thank God. My goodness. My God. My God. How? Just how? It's unbelievable, man. It really is. It really is. Like, how? How is your pitching like this unprepared? How is it this unprepared to start the year? And does it go back to JT not being with this team, him not being in sync with everyone? I don't think that's the full extent of everything. Or is it just spring training doesn't prepare these guys enough anymore like it used to? Because we're going spring training, they're not pitching as many innings, like they're slowly ramping each other up until that point. It kind of just feels like these guys are still in spring training. They're still going through the motions. It kind of feels like that. Like, I have no other way of describing it. I don't know. But still, two days isn't enough to panic about the entire year. It's not. It's nowhere near not. It's enough to be frustrated just because this is the quality of compete that we're getting in these first 2 games. But overall, big picture mode, it's not going to be like that. The Phillies aren't going to be allowing 27 runs in span of 2 games every single game. They're just not doing that. That's physically impossible to uphold. Everything evens out in the end. The pitching is going to be fine. The pitching is going to turn out fine. Right now, it is a concern about depth in the starting pitching territory, because you're not getting Ranger back until the end of the month. You still don't know anything right now about Andrew Painter. There was some news, I believe Alex Coffey posted this today. I got to find her tweet about this because I'm not sure if it was during the game or if it was like right before the game. Talking about some of the pitchers that were dealing with some injuries during spring. Oh, here we go. This is from Alex Coffey on Twitter. Some Phillies notes. Ranger Suarez threw a bullpen. We knew the Rangers situation. He threw a bullpen yesterday in Clearwater. He felt fine. He's going to throw another one on Monday. Noah Song, he is throwing a bullpen session today as well. Christopher Sanchez, he threw 2 innings today in Clearwater, and Nick Nelson threw a bullpen yesterday and will throw another one on Monday. So those are the guys that are currently going through injuries. Nick Nelson, an important part of the bullpen, basically more that long reliever type of guy. Christopher Sanchez, he's a guy that you can plug into the starting rotation when you do need it, another long reliever type of guy. Ranger Suarez, we all know him, and a really important part of the starting rotation. Noah Song, still question marks because he was a Rule 5 draft pick. He was in the Army for so many years, hasn't pitched baseball in so many years. Was a highly ranked prospect, but before he went to the Army and all that stuff. So basically, we still don't know everything that's going to be involved with him because he Rule 5 draft pick. You technically have to be on the roster for the MLB squad, and if you're not, you get sent back to the team that you were drafted from in the Rule 5 draft. So there are some question marks on that scenario, but overall, it's just, these first 2 games, man. Like, come on. I'm still pumped for baseball. Don't get me wrong. I'm watching baseball every single day, even though I'm talking. I got a Final Four, Florida Atlantic against San Diego State. Got a Final Four on in front of me, watching that. But then also watching these 2 games, I get the whole news conferences and all that stuff. News stuff talking about the tornado warning that's currently going on in the area. So that's also something. Get the emergency broadcast system scaring the shit out of me. I hate that noise. Hate it. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But I'm just trying to think of everything because you got Bailey Falter on the mound tomorrow. And then Monday, when you go to New York against the Yankees, obviously, you're going to New York. It's going to get colder, from Texas. So that's definitely going to be some type of scenario right there. And then if you're looking at the pitching matchups for those games, actually, I want to look at those right now, too. Because I know for the Phillies, Monday it's going to be Taijuan Walker. Tuesday it's going to be Matt Strahm. And then Wednesday, most likely, is going to be Aaron Nola for the final game of that series. So, and then Zack Wheeler would be the guy lined up for the home opener against the Reds next Thursday. Hopefully the weather's fine because the weather has been absolutely weird over the past couple of days. It was very nice during the afternoon, and then all of a sudden this rain just came out of nowhere and the tornado warnings and all that crap. So, yeah, definitely very weird. So, yeah, tomorrow we got Bailey Falter against Perez. Monday, it's going to be Nestor Cortez against Taijuan Walker. Tuesday, Matt Strahm against right now to be determined for the Yankees, and then Aaron Nola most likely is going to be the Wednesday 1 o'clock game in the Bronx. But it's just crazy. And just looking at the side for the Rangers in this game lineup-wise, Nathan Eovaldi didn't even pitch that good of a game. He allowed 6 hits, 300 runs, got saved by CB Bucknor a couple of times, but the strike zone, there are even a couple of strike calls to Nick Castellanos that were just absolutely dreadful. Like, seriously, the umpiring in these first 2 games have been terrible. Absolutely god-awful. God-awful. Like Marcus Semien with the leadoff home run. Corey Seager had a hard hit against Alvarado. Nate Lowe, 3 for 6 in this game. Like, seriously, he's been a thorn in our back. Same thing with Garcia, 3 for 4 in this game. Grossman, thorn in our back as well, 2 for 3. Mitch Garver was killing us today. 2 3-run shots in this. 6 RBI for him. My God. My God. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous at this point, man. It just is. Just can't understand it. I cannot. Man, oh man. I do see we have some voicemails here, so we'll get to those in a little bit. I'm trying to listen back to one of these voicemails. For some reason, the audio isn't coming in from this number. So I'm not sure if this person should call in again to try to leave it because for some reason the mic is not being picked up, or is that just me not hearing it? I have no idea if that's the case. But it's all trial and error process. It definitely is. So, yeah. Just trying to see if there's any other things here to talk about. Just to see. Let me see. I don't think there is. Don't think there is. Just pure frustration. Just pure frustration. That's all it is. All it is at this point. Like, seriously, I just want to watch competitive baseball. both games are just like, you turn it off in the 7th inning because the game's over. It just is. But let's go to the Anytime hotline here. Let's see what these guys have to say. But let me test this freaking this one voicemail here, because I'm not hearing anything. No, not hearing anything here. So this one person that did leave a voicemail, I'm not sure if it's a troll or not, or if it's just a spam call. Can you try leaving that voicemail again, because nothing picked up your voice? So I'm not sure if anything happened here. Maybe I can message this person. Just try to see. Could let me just put that there. Hopefully this person does respond. Hopefully it's not a troll, because that could also be the situation. It definitely can. But let's go to our caller. You can leave those at 215-839-9885 if you want to leave any thoughts on this game whatsoever. Share your frustrations about this team so far in the first 2 games. But keep it to an extent, because we all know big picture-wise the team is going to be fine. But the frustration right now is warranted, because we haven't seen competitive baseball in the first 2 games. Technically, we kind of did in the first game, but then, Aaron Nola blew up. But Magic Baseball, isn't it? But let's go to this first call from Sean Fitzpatrick. I think he left this before the game ended. So let's see what he has to say.
So full disclosure, I'm making this call early. There's only so much bad baseball that I can tolerate. Maybe the Phillies will rally back and win, but I doubt it. But 2 things have definitely been established, at least for today. Number one, the Phillies don't want to see the Texas Rangers anymore. We are truly their bitch. Number 2, and I've been an advocate of this for years, if you really want to help speed up the game, get the automated balls and strikes. That umpire, C.B. Bucknor, and the terrible job he did set the tone for the whole game. I mean, go back to the inning where Wheeler struck out Garcia. He gets a gift of a walk, which leads to an eventual 3-run homer. I mean, I know these are human beings and not robots, but Bucknor was consistent. He was terrible from the start of the game to the end of it. Again, you have the technology and the capability to make the game better. Bring in the automated balls and strikes. And I think it'll help the pace of play continue to speed the game up. And there's going to be less of this shit that we saw today.
I firmly agree there, Sean. I firmly agree there. Like, seriously, like, he was consistent today. Consistently shit. Consistently terrible. My God. How are you that bad at your job? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. How is one person that bad at being an umpire? I could believe that, because all referees in sports are terrible. Umpires are terrible in baseball, in football. Referees in NBA are goddamn atrocious, and the referees in the NHL are atrocious. So all sports, they're bad. But seriously, sometimes it just feels like it's to a different extent when they're this bad. When you have this bad of a strike zone, and when it feels like you're doing it on purpose to spite the players because they got on your neck. Like, seriously, I feel like he does this shit on purpose. It really feels like it. Like he does it just to spite people. Because he knows his ass is going to be protected by the umpires, union. Couldn't think of the word. That's how it feels like. It's that annoying. It's that embarrassing, honestly. Like I said, it didn't cost you the entire game because your pitching was just that bad. But it's something to bring up because that's how bad it was. It just was. And I think this person left another voicemail. I got to see if the voice went through. For some reason, this person's voice is not coming through. What the hell is going on? Let's see this. Because I'm not hearing this voicemail whatsoever. Who is this person that's leaving the voicemail? Because for some reason, Google Voice is just not picking up your voice at all. I don't want to say the number on the mic just because, I don't want people spamming this person, but I need to figure, can I download this? Listen to it? If I download it, I don't hear anything. I need to figure it out. For some reason, the voice isn't just being picked up. Because it's weird, too, because when you leave a voicemail on Google, it'll bring up a transcript, too. There's not even a transcript that comes up for the voicemail. Because every time I see a voicemail from Sean or something like that, I see a whole transcript of what he says. So that leads me to believe that the voice, gets heard. For this, I don't even know if a voice is getting heard here. Man, that's weird. Nothing's just being played at all. I don't know if it's Google Translate just not working. Or, I'm sorry for not getting your voicemail on here. It's just weird. Knowing me, I'll end the stream and then the voicemail will work. But it's weird. It is really weird. But I guess that's the joy of technology here. Just trying to see if I can find this way to work. It's just nothing's working right now. I'm sorry for this person that left the call, but for some reason the Google is just not working at all. I don't know why. I hope it's not because I'm streaming right now and the voice are just not going through. That would suck if that's the case. I'm sorry, that just threw off my entire spiel. Did. But we are getting along on this stream regardless. So I guess, like I said, I'm sorry. Okay, this person is trying to leave another voicemail here. Okay, there we go. There it is. There it is.
How you doing? Hopefully you can hear me now. But there's one thing we learned today. We never want our team walking into Globe Life Field or having the Rangers walk into Citizens Bank Park ever again. That was just absolutely ridiculous. And I personally think our relievers, starting pitchers, are just not ready for anything this season. There has to be more time. I feel like they really need to start practicing more. It's getting out of control these past two games. Gregory Soto, all-star last year, couldn't throw it in the strike zone yesterday. Seranthony Dominguez, postseason hero last year. I mean, that was ridiculous. 6 runs on him? That's ridiculous. We just got to get through the Yankees next week. Hopefully get 1 or 2 there, possibly. Probably not going to take all 3, but 1 or 2. Hopefully get to win tomorrow. Get 1, 2, and then head back to Citizens Bank and sweep the Reds. That's what I think we got to do. And use the Reds as basically pitching practice since they're so terrible. Thank you.
I do appreciate you standing here with me, trying to get your calls to go through. So I appreciate you on that standpoint. But yeah, man, it's really frustrating to watch these, games to start the year so far. Definitely, the pitchers do not look ready. They just don't at all. I don't understand why they just don't look ready at all. Starters don't look ready. The bullpen guys don't look ready. And it just feels like this is an extended spring training for these guys. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to even out. This team is going to be fine for the big picture. Offense, it's going to be the best thing about this team. Trey Turner, everything like that. Kyle Schwarber, all that stuff. What else? Nola, Wheeler, they're going to be fine. We still haven't seen anything, what Taijuan Walker's going to look like. We know what Bailey Falter is at this point. He's a guy that can get you innings at this point, but we don't know what Bailey Falter's going to look like tomorrow, sadly. I don't want to jinx anything, but who knows? Is he going to give up 20 runs? Is he going to give up 30 runs? Is he going to give up 35 runs? 50 runs? Are we going to see that tomorrow? I'm scared to even think about it. Because for some reason, any pitcher from the Philadelphia Phillies that just steps into Globe Life Park or just faces the Rangers in general, they're bound to give up like 50,000 runs. It's just that bad. But yeah, that's where we stand. I see some of you guys in the chat right here. I'll get to you guys before we end this off here. Firefighter, yep, that was sad. Rather watch the weather. Scott, how are you doing, man? I'll talk to you in a little bit. Yes, that was ugly. There were 220 pitches today thrown by the Phillies. My goodness. Yeah, the Fox broadcast was terrible. We just got to get through the Yankees and get home. CBP refresh the pitching staff against the Reds. That should be a sweep. Don't put your don't put all your oranges in a basket right there, man. But who knows? Who knows? I'm not. It's just these 2 games, man. I just want to see competitive baseball right now before I even beg for a win. Please tell me how the heck an umpire could be that bad. I don't know, Scott. I don't know. It's really bad when Realmuto was turning around after pitches. Dominguez looked like he was. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with Sorrentino. I don't even know what was wrong from the pitchers today for these first 2 games. Soto's stare from yet, yeah. The Phillies never seem to do well against the American League. It definitely could be a theme. Rangers think they can win the World Series now. Not concerned about Nola. Wheeler is a different story. I'm not concerned about Wheeler long term either. He was probably our best pitcher in the playoffs last year. He had 1 bad game in the second game of the World Series. And that game he was dealing with dead arm because that was the longest he's ever pitched in his career. And maybe that's also some implications that we're going to be seeing with some of our starters, mainly, Wheeler, Nola, and Ranger. Last year was the longest those guys had pitched in their entire careers. We saw at the end parts of it that Nola and Wheeler got gassed, especially, Nola, we probably saw it earlier on in the NLCS. Wheeler, we started seeing it in the World Series, especially that game, too, when he was dealing with dead arm. He got better for Game 6. Still think Rob Thompson took him out too early, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Maybe we're going to be seeing some implications from that. Not having that long of an off-season as you're used to. A little bit of a short stretch there. Then getting into spring training earlier than usual. Or shorter than usual, I should say, not earlier. Maybe that's the implications we're going to be seeing for a little bit. But like I said, I still think at the end of the day, it's going to even out, and they're going to be fine, big picture-wise. Don't rush Painter into starting if his elbow is injured at all. Wait till next year. Well, they never said there was any complete tear or anything, so I believe his shutdown period was done on Thursday. So I'm assuming they're going to start a light throwing program just to see where his elbow is at. I'm assuming we're going to be getting some updates most likely this week. I'm sure they'll tell us something like that. So it's still a way in progress for Painter. If he does, prove anything to be ready for this year, most likely you won't be seeing him probably until maybe around late May, mid-June. That's what I would think at this point, if he is going to be ready for this season. I wouldn't rush him either just because of that factor with the injury. And that's also one of the things when you're dealing with a 19-year-old that throws 100 miles an hour, you're probably going to be experiencing this stuff with the UCL probably earlier than you would like. But that's the implications of a guy that throws 100 miles an hour. All guys eventually go through that. Would it be better to get the UCL surgery now? Let's wait to see. Don't get me started on the NBA referees. Wheeler threw a lot of pitches for his first start of the year. I do give him credit for battling through it. I thought Rob was going to take him out a little bit earlier, but he did throw a lot of pitches in those first 3 innings. He had at least 20 pitches in at least all 3 of those, 25, I believe, at least. So yeah, he was battling. He did not look good to start the game. He was popping 97, 98 on the gun, but there was a lot of hard contact. But he did battle, but still, it's not good enough to start the year. Him and Nola, I do believe those guys are going to get better, but it needs to be better. Soon. Hey. But I think that is where we're going to call it for today, everybody. I do appreciate you joining me through this good old tornado warning. Phillies recap-wise. So, I appreciate everyone for joining the stream as always. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to see those. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. I recommend all of it. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Please hit that. We're getting very close to 700 subs for the channel. And the closer we get to that, once we reach that goal, it just gets us closer and closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber milestone. So I would very appreciate it. Join the TTP Sports family. Very fun times here, especially during baseball season. Daily Phillies recaps. Join. And also the shorts on YouTube as well. Definitely don't forget to check those out. I'll have some shorts on YouTube probably later tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, just depending on when I get the editing done, because I also got to do editing for Brodes and all that. So it's basically whenever I get a chance to get them up. Same thing with TikTok and all that stuff. And also don't forget to use TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up for tickets for Phillies baseball. Sixers basketball playoffs are eventually coming up, so definitely get yourself some tickets to those events. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining tonight. And I